Wednesday marks the end of National Stress Month, but it's too bad it doesn't also mark the end of the stress in our daily lives. Dr. Nancy Simpkins is an expert on stress and is here to tell us about the harm it's doing to our bodies and why we need to get a handle on it now. Dr. Simpkins, thanks so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Let me ask you something before we get into the detrimental effects of stress. Isn't a little bit of stress supposed to be good for us?
Well, it kind of revs your engine. You know, a little stress gets your adrenaline going, gets the cortisol working, gets all the systems going so that we pay attention and we're more peak. But a little is okay.
A little?
A lot, and chronic stress is not good for any of us.
And so how do you define chronic stress? How do we know that our stress has moved over into the danger zone?
Well, we define it medically as more than 3 months, meaning if it's work or family or home or any situation that is chronically stressing you for more than 3 months, your body is going to begin to feel the effects.
And let's talk about some of those negative effects because they're pretty awful. You say weight gain,
right?
Acne and hair loss.
I know, all bad things.
Oh my goodness.
I know,
what
terrible.
Are some of the other?
So the thing is, when you are stressed, you raise your adrenaline, which raises your heart rate, which gives you excess high blood pressure, which gives you all those palpitations. That's not the dangerous thing. The dangerous thing is the elevation of cortisol. And cortisol interferes with the glucose and the insulin metabolism. So that's what causes weight gain and acne and lack of sleep and decreased immune system.
And gastrointestinal issues?
Right, you know, people who have irritable bowel syndrome will tell you a lot of it is due to their stress.
Oh my goodness.
So like every organ senses the stress and it's really due to cortisol.
And so are some of these negative effects, are they reversible if we get a handle on it, or is some of this damage permanent?
Well, we try to believe that it's not permanent.
Right.
Of course, people who have prolonged stress and experience things like a heart attack, yes, that's permanent damage.
Sure.
But most of us can reverse the effects.
All right, well, let's talk about how to do that. I love your first piece of advice, which is just get out there and exercise 20 to 30 minutes a day.
The best.
How does that help?
I mean, first of all, when you raise your endorphin levels after you do something like run or spin or weight lift or swim, by raising your endorphins, you're lowering your cortisol, lowering your adrenaline, having the body in a relaxed state. Very important. So exercise. And if you can't do it, get out. All of you who are watching Lunch Break, after this, 15 minutes of walk outside.
Around the block,
right.
Go up and down the stairs.
Right. Get a little walking in.
You also say just take a moment to take a deep breath, relax, concentrate on your breathing. That's something we can all do even at our desk.
That's right. And the deeper the breath, the better it is. Because the vagus nerve, which runs along your neck, is what slows everything down. So if you expand your lungs and involve the vagus nerve, everything kind of slows. So there is something to be said for that yoga breathing and meditation.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Now also, don't forget, sleep is such a great remedy.
Oh, sleep, you know, the dreaded sleep that we all try so hard to get, but it really, in this instance, makes a huge difference. Because if you don't sleep, you become even that much more stressed, and then you do things like stress eating and all those bad things.
All right, Dr. Nancy Simpkins, thank you so much. Really important to get a handle on the stress in our lives.